Lately, there have been many discoveries about certain historical objects and images believed to have been lost or out of human view. The one that tops them all is the Ark of Covenant. It was believed that no one could go near or even talk of opening the Ark. However, scientists finally opened the Ark of the Covenant that was sealed for thousands of years. What does this mean? And what did they find? Let's find out. Scientists' recent discovery of the Ark of Covenant has triggered excitement amongst many, as they think it might just be the final clue to what was missing for thousands of years. Its location has kept many historians, archaeologists, and experts in serious suspense for years, as they could not trace it. What is this Ark of Covenant like? The Ark of Covenant comes from the Hebrew aron habbarit, meaning chest of the covenant. It is a wooden chest covered with gold that contains the 2 stone tablets of the 10 Commandments, which God gave to Moses for the children of Israel on Mount Sinai. The Bible also records that the ark contained a pot of manna. This miraculous food sustained the Israelites in the wilderness during their deliverance journey from the land of Egypt. The Ark of Covenant is said to be one of the most fascinating and mysterious objects in the history of Judaism and Christianity. It also contained Aaron's rod, the staff that blossomed to show God's choice of Aaron as the high priest. It was believed that the ark was not just a receptacle for holy relics, but it was also a symbol that demonstrated God's presence and power among the people. Also, the Bible elaborately clarifies how God spoke to Moses from between the 2 cherubims. These are the winged creatures that adorned the lid of the ark, which is known as the mercy seat. More so, it was recorded also in the Bible that the ark brought the Israelites victories over their enemies whenever it was carried onto the battlefield. This served majorly in this time as an object of victory for them because of the power of God resident in it. A clear example of the demonstration of this power is when the Israelites crossed the river Jordan to enter the Promised Land. The priests carrying the ark caused the waters to stop flowing and allowed them to pass. They also marched around Jericho with the ark. The city's walls could not stand such great powers as it collapsed, and they seamlessly conquered the city. This Ark of Covenant represented many things to the children of Israel. One of them was that it was a sign of God's covenant with his people and his expectations for them to keep and obey his laws. But what is the significance of the 10 Commandments about the Ark? It was established that the Ark of Covenant was made for 2 salient reasons. First, it carried the stone tablets on which the 10 Commandments were written. And second, it functioned as a way for God's presence to be with the Israelites and communicate with them. The 10 Commandments were not just a set of rules or ordinances, but were also a summation of God's character and will for his people. They were also an epic representation of God's love, justice, holiness, and faithfulness. It was a wake-up call for God's people to reflect these qualities in their relationship with him and others. Most importantly, the Ark of the Covenant brought a reminder to the hearts of the Israelites that God chose them to be his royal priesthood, his peculiar people, a kingdom of priests, and a holy nation, which is also a summation and representation of the 10 Commandments. Consequently, the sacred nature of the Ark made it impossible to be accessed by many. Only a few were allowed to touch or even go close to it. It was kept in a very special tent, which was called the tabernacle. The tabernacle was designed by God and built by skilled craftsmen. Only the Levites, the tribe assigned to serve as priests, were allowed to carry the ark and minister in the tabernacle. More interestingly, the tabernacle had an innermost chamber where only the high priest could enter. This innermost chamber was called the Holy of Holies, where the ark was placed. The high priest himself was only permitted to enter once a year, on the Day of Atonement, when he would sprinkle blood on the mercy seat. He does this to make atonement for himself and the people. There were severe consequences of death or disease for anyone who violated the rules of the ark. According to the Bible, in 2 Samuel chapter 6 verses 3 to 8, it recorded a man named Uzzah who touched the ark to steady it as it almost fell. At the same time, it was being transported on a cart. Unfortunately, Uzzah met his doom as he was struck dead by God. It is also deduced from the Bible that when some Philistines lay hold of the ark and placed it in their temple, It brought upon them deadly consequences as they suffered plagues of tumors and rats until they returned it. So, what is significant about the Ark of Covenant? This Ark of Covenant itself was not fictional but very real and extremely important to the nation of Israel. However, it was important for ancient Israelites and Christians today. Christians believe that Jesus Christ fulfills God's covenant with his people. With God's desire to be with his people, he had to build a place for his presence to dwell amongst them. What the Ark of Covenant would become is a place where God's presence dwelt. According to God's instructions, the ark was made of acacia wood. Acacia wood is known for its durability and natural resistance to water, which makes it the perfect fit to withstand the harsh conditions of the wilderness. It measured about 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. It was overlaid inside and out with pure gold. Gold was a precious metal that reflected God's glory and holiness. The ark had a gold decorative rim around its top called the zir, and 4 gold rings at its corner through which gold-plated wooden poles were inserted for carrying the ark. The poles were put there and never to be removed, because the ark was too sacred to be touched by human hands, as this would attract serious consequences such as death. The ark had a very important feature, which was its cover. It was called the habbarit. It was made of solid gold and was 1 handbreadth thick. It was also called the mercy seat, because it was where God showed his mercy and forgiveness to his people on the Day of Atonement, when the high priest sprinkled blood on it to atone for their sins. The top of the ark housed 2 cherubim, or you can call them winged creatures, that faced each other with their wings widely spread over the cover. These cherubim represented God's heavenly throne and his angelic servants. God spoke to Moses between the cherubim and gave him instructions for the Israelites. The Ark of the Covenant housed 3 major items: the stone tablets of the 10 Commandments, a pot of manna that showed God's benevolence in providing food for his people, and Aaron's rod, which symbolized God's vote of confidence in him. These items were symbolic to remind the Israelites of God's faithfulness and miracles in their history. The Ark of Covenant rested on a stone believed to be the foundation of the entire world. This stone was called the Even Hashetia. Now, let us talk about the rumor of the Ark's disappearance. What is the truth? It's quite unbelievable to think that this mysterious object eventually disappeared. Archaeologists have tried in vain for centuries to locate and recover some of the Bible's most sacred objects. Among these religious antiquities is the famous Ark of the Covenant. The disappearance of the Ark of the Covenant is one of the most shocking mysteries in religious history. The last mention of the Ark in the Bible is in 2 Chronicles chapter 35, verse 3, which describes King Josiah's efforts to restore the temple in Jerusalem. According to an article, in 597 and 586 BC, the Babylonian Empire conquered the Israelites, and the Ark, at the time, which was supposedly kept in the temple at Jerusalem, vanished from history. Whether it was destroyed, captured, or hidden has remained unanswered. However, there have been many speculations about the whereabouts of the Ark of the Covenant. One of the most famous claims about the Ark's whereabouts is that before the Babylonians sacked Jerusalem, it had found its way to Ethiopia, where it still resides in the town of Aksum, in the St. Mary of Zion Cathedral. The church authorities, however, say only one man, the guardian of the Ark, is allowed to see it, and they've never permitted it to be studied for authenticity. Another insistence is that the Ark was hidden in a warren of passages beneath the first temple in Jerusalem before the Babylonians destroyed it in 586 BC. But that supposition can't be pushed either, because the site is home to the Dome of the Rock Shrine, sacred in Islam, and digging beneath it isn't an option. According to other sources, King Josiah foresaw the impending doom of Jerusalem. He ordered some priests to hide the Ark in a secret location. The Bible in 2 Chronicles, chapters 35 and 3, and the book Maccabees chapter 2, verses 4-8, seem to support this claim. However, there is no clear evidence that Josiah hid the Ark or knew where it was. Another article recorded that Menelik visited his father Solomon in Jerusalem and secretly took the Ark when he returned to Ethiopia. He placed it in a temple in Aksum, where several priests guarded it. It has, however, not been traced because there is no historical or archaeological evidence that Menelik ever existed or that he took the Ark with him. More interestingly, other sources said it was taken to France by the Knights Templar, but there is no evidence to prove that the Knights Templar obtained the Ark of the Covenant. The Knights Templar was said to be a secret society that discovered the location of the Ark in Jerusalem and transported it to France to keep it safe. It was later recorded that they hid it in various places like the Chartres Cathedral, Rennes-le-Château, or Cizor's Castle. There is a conspiracy theory and speculation, but no proven evidence yet that the Knights Templar had anything to do with the Ark or knew its whereabouts. There is no proof whatsoever that any of these places or persons ever housed or hid the Ark. There is, however, one striking and intriguing theory by the Jewish tradition about the whereabouts of the Ark. It is that the Ark of the Covenant is still hidden in a secret chamber beneath the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. This theory asserts that the supposed missing Ark was never taken away or destroyed by the Babylonians, but was concealed by the temple priests before its destruction in 586 BC. The Jewish tradition recorded that the Ark is hiding until today, waiting for the Messiah to reveal it and restore it to its rightful place. The chamber was also believed to be sealed with a stone and marked with a sign that only the Messiah could read. The texts also suggested that some priests who hid the Ark died in the process, and no one else knew its location. The Jewish theory also derives its booster from biblical passages like 2 Chronicles chapter 35 verse 3, which depicts that King Josiah told the Levites to put the Ark in the temple, suggesting that it was not there before. Moreover, the Ark was not listed among the temple vessels the Babylonians took away. Hence, no one knows the whereabouts of this mysterious object. The theory also appeals to some historical and archaeological proof that implies that there are channels, tunnels, and chambers under the Temple Mount that have not been fully explored in the quest to find the Ark. In 1981, Jewish extremists attempted to blow up the Dome of the Rock, a Muslim shrine on the Temple Mount. Their action was to claim that they had discovered a tunnel leading to the chamber where the Ark was hidden. Consequently, a protest ensued in 1996 in Palestine when Israel opened an exit to an ancient tunnel along the western wall of the Temple Mount. This caused an uproar and sparked fears that Israel was trying to reach the Ark or undermine the Muslim structures on the Temple Mount. Though not factual, some say that the glory departed from the temple before its destruction, perhaps denoting that the Ark also left or was hidden then. There is a question of whether finding or locating the Ark would have any religious or political implications in today's world, given that Christianity and Judaism have developed without it for centuries. This has given rise to some people warning against any attempt to search for or locate the Ark, as they said it could lead to violence and disputation amongst the Jews, Muslims, and Christians who have competing claims over Jerusalem and its holy sites. Some Ethiopian traditions and practices are related to the Ark. Ethiopian churches have a replica of the Arka called a tabat. It is taken out once yearly for a procession during the Timket, the Ethiopian Orthodox Christian calendar. More so, Ethiopia has a long history of Jewish effect and presence. One example is the Beta Israel community, which some have believed to be the descendants of Menelik. Others are believed to be Israelites who migrated to Ethiopia. More interestingly, some Ethiopians claim to be the descendants of Solomon and Queen Sheba, using the alleged affiliation to legitimize their rule. The search seems endless, even as some scholars and high thinkers have decided to take the search to another level. This time, they suggest the Ark could be lost at the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea, situated as a landlocked salt lake between the borders of Israel and Jordan in southwestern Asia, holds a mystique that extends beyond its geographical features. This intrigue arises from the Dead Sea Scrolls, which have unveiled a potential revelation regarding the whereabouts of the Ark of the Covenant through one of its enigmatic documents known as the Copper Scroll. The Copper Scroll itself is a remarkable artifact, distinct in that it is inscribed on metal rather than parchment or papyrus. Within its cryptic text are recorded approximately 64 locations where an assortment of precious vessels made of gold and silver were concealed or buried. The scholars and thinkers who have delved into this ancient manuscript believe that some of the treasures documented within the Copper Scroll were secreted away prior to the destruction of the Temple in Jerusalem, an event that occurred in 586 BC. One particularly captivating aspect of the Copper Scroll is its suggestion that the Ark of the Covenant, the sacred chest renowned for containing the tablets inscribed with the Ten Commandments, might have found its resting place in the outskirts of the Dead Sea, particularly within the territory of Jordan. The Copper Scroll seems to tantalizingly hint that the Ark of the Covenant, an object of immense historical and religious significance, could have been concealed or interred in the vicinity of the Dead Sea, shrouding this sacred relic in an aura of mystery and fascination. Let's share your thoughts in the comments section. And if you found this video informative, please don't forget to like, share, and follow for more. Thank you.